Just look at this for a setting, David Evans, for an end of day review. It is the most magnificent view over the service park, over the river Paraná, and over towards Argentina and Posadas on the far shore. And what a day we had.
Totally. And I think, last night I took exception, Colin, to you saying it was a different rally, but actually I think you might be right, because yesterday was so hard, the surface, so different, and today so much loose around. It was a fascinating morning. The story of the morning, Sebastian Ogier just making time, and just you got that sense that Ogier was in a different place. Occasionally with drivers, you notice just small kind of nuances during an event where they're in that place, and he's there, and the energy's there, everything is there. We've talked a lot about it through the weekend, he didn't get into the lead in the way that he would have wanted to get into the lead, but he's there, and he's there because he did not give up. He kept on fighting, he kept on clawing at it, and he just drove absolutely beautifully. He was
relentless. He was chasing down Kalle Rovanperä. We'll talk about Rovanperä shortly. He did pick up a puncture, but don't forget that again, it's not a gamble, and you'll tell us this. But he was the only one of our Rally 1 drivers to go out with one tyre, one spare tyre this afternoon.
Yeah.
So he was absolutely. It was kind of I'm going to do all I can here. I'm going to take every chance, every opportunity, every advantage I can find, and I don't think you can take anything away from Sebastian Ogier. He thoroughly deserves to be in the lead. He lost 40 seconds with that puncture, nearly 40 seconds.
Totally. He doesn't believe in gambling. He believes in loading the dice in his favour, and that's how he'd see that decision to take one spare. But ultimately it was a gamble, because if you get 2 punctures, you're out. But he knew that saving that 25 kilos or whatever, it would give him that extra performance. It's just brilliant. There's days down his career that you can look at and say, that's an Ogier day.
Yeah, today was very much one of
them.
As
was yesterday.
Very much one of them.
Today we managed to stay out of bad luck, which was definitely important after the setback of yesterday. But most importantly, I think we did never give up and always pushed all the time. This afternoon with a bit more aggressive tyre choice than our concurrent. I was convinced that could work and that could make a bit extra pressure on them. And obviously I was not celebrating the issue that Kalle had and Yone. That's a shame for them and for the team, especially as they joined the club of all the top drivers this weekend who got a puncture, but for them it cost them even more time. So it's a shame, but on our side, it's been a very positive day. If it starts raining here, it can turn to a very, very complicated stages. So I think if it really rains, many things can still happen. So obviously when you're on the lead, you don't hope for that. But now we'll see. We'll have a good night of sleep and try to finish the job. But 80 kilometers is a very long way to go.
Yeah. Let's talk then about Kalle Rovanperä, David, because he was doing such a strong job yesterday. He just went about the job that was necessary. He did it without any real dramas, without any real. He didn't seem to push, didn't seem to get faced by anything. At the end of the day, we turned around and there he was at the top of the leaderboard. But he made a mistake today. The puncture may not have been a mistake, we don't know yet what happened. The mistake was without doubt not stopping and changing that time. It's, we have to talk to the teams, and they do have this, they have a program that they can work out.
Ultimately, didn't make any difference. Positionally, it might.
It did. If he managed to change that tyre in a minute and 15, which we know they can do, he's still in that fight for that, 3rd, 4th place perhaps.
I think the trouble is, Cole, with those things, we don't know the specifics. You need to make a decision now. We stop and change, because the minute you start to pontificate, to think about it, you're dropping time, you're shipping time. And to have that conversation in a car is very difficult. And what you normally find with a crew is the co-driver will say, with this is how far we've got to go. Driver will say, right, we stop.
But it was a mistake. They should have stopped. They should have stopped. But
and they would have.
I'm not blaming Yoni, and I'm not blaming Kalle, because
they dropped 2.5 minutes.
That
cost them an extra minute. But my point is, yes, it probably has dropped them a couple of positions, but ultimately it's lost. They were losing the lead, whether they stopped and changed or not.
What happened today? What did you hit?
No idea. Puncture from somewhere. No real big hit, so I don't know. And obviously we should have changed the tire. Jonne was saying we should go to the end, so I didn't know how much we have left, and clearly a wrong decision this time, but yeah, that's how it is sometimes.
Let's talk about Adrian Fourmaux. Your most challenging day for Fourmaux out there today. He had issues with the handling of the car. It was, it looks like when we were watching again, it did seem to be very tail happy. But he did a really good job. Finishes the day still just over 10 seconds off the lead, David. He's not out of this by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought he did well in battling.
So what do you do, Cole, tomorrow? If you are, Adrian Fourmaux he's driven a really good day. I think it's fair to say from what he said, he's struggled a little bit with confidence and trust and faith in the tyre, that he hasn't put the car in positions and on the rocks where you're taking that gamble. He's tried to keep it a bit more in the middle of the road, having suffered that puncture and what have you. It's difficult for him to kind of get right back into the fight when that's suddenly in the back of your mind. And now more than ever, second place is in the back of his mind. Do you back yourself to take 10 seconds out of Sebastian?
No. No, you don't. No, you don't. But your second place always has that chance of winning it.
It does.
And what's interesting, he doesn't have to score big tomorrow.
No.
So I think
Ogier does.
Ogier does.
Yeah.
So I think that Fourmaux's approach tomorrow is very much, I don't really care if I lose another 5 or 10 seconds.
Quickly, calma.
Quickly, calma.
Yeah.
And we know that there are punctures just lying in wait for any of the drivers tomorrow. So no, I think he's put himself in a good position. Elfyn Evans started, I think, in 5th place this morning, ends the day podium position in 3rd place. Evans has a difficult situation tomorrow. He's got to fend off Ogier Tanak, who's just behind him overall. He wants to retain that 3rd position. He wants to score points tomorrow. That is the dilemma of Super Sunday, David. But he's got no choice, because Tanak is just 2.5 behind him. Evans has to be on it because Tanak's on a charge.
Yeah, I think in many ways now you need to put Super Sunday out of your mind and go back to the olden days where it's a 2-point-whatever second battle for a podium place, and just go absolutely foot to the floor. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. Do we think Elvin's got a little bit more to give tomorrow?
I guess he's going to be in it. Well, he is going to be in a much better place on the road. Yeah, the car, he's improving. This kind of comparison with Richard Burns of taking step by step, building the confidence in the car, in the setup, in the tyre. That's where he is. He's not the driver that jumps in, takes the massive risk and jump into the unknown. He's building it, and potentially tomorrow is going to be the crescendo.
Thierry Neuville.
It's one of those.
That's exactly one of those. Move on. Just not happening yet for him.
No, and you've got to feel for him. You've absolutely got to feel for him, because him and Martin are doing everything they can. They're pushing, they're doing all of the right things, and there's not a lot more that we can say. At some point, all of this will turn around. But it's a pretty ghastly year for the world champion.
If you said at the start of the year that Thierry Neuville would not win a rally this year, you've kind of thought, that's not a chance. But it's looking more and more that way, sadly. Where are we looking at saying he's got a great chance there?
CR.
He's got to beat Kalle Rovanperä.
Wet CR.
A wet CR, and he's in trouble because of his road position.
Wet Japan.
You're clutching at straws, David.
Maybe.
Yeah, anyway, he is capable. We know that. He's capable of doing anything. Quick word for Sammy Pajari, because we forgot to mention him yesterday. He was doing a really strong job yesterday morning.
Really.
Picked up a puncture, dropped him well down.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Just brilliant start. And then once that happens, it's just about not making the mistake, because you've got nothing to gain. Keeping the car in the middle of the road, taking the experience. He's doing exactly that.
The 2 M Sport cars. Oh my goodness me. Someone who perhaps isn't the brightest spark said yesterday evening to Gregoire Munster, it's been a bad day, but it can't, tomorrow's a new day, it can't get any worse, can it?
Sorry, Gregoire. That wasn't me though, was it?
No, it wasn't you. Of course it wasn't you, David. I'd never describe you as not the brightest spark. You're the sharpest, brightest, most illuminating spark in the whole service.
Absolutely, of course I am.
No, it was someone else, very much, but goodness me, it got worse. It got worse for the M Sport team. You have to feel for them. It seems as if it was the same spot, both cars hitting perhaps some embedded rock, damaging the oil pump, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
The oil pump, and both of them are out today, but fingers crossed both will be back tomorrow.
Fingers crossed.
You had a big long interview with Rich Milner. It's tough with them being such a small team and having to endure these days.
Yeah.
So we think it's one piece of bedrock on a heavy braking into a chicane that's caused both cars to have the same issue. So, you know, it's one of those things that you learn as you go to the rally, but when it happens to your team and both cars, it's incredibly frustrating and quite deflating, especially after yesterday for Josh.
So same place, same bit of bedrock.
I'm almost certain, yeah.
How do you keep the morale up in the team?
Tell them they're doing a good job.
Which they are.
Absolutely, they all are, and you know, it's just difficult. We're all competitive, we all want to win, we're all realistic, but we all know we can do better than the results we're being thrown. So it's sad, really, because it's, you know, we're doing as much work as the other teams with a third of the people. So, you know, to ask any of these lot to come away for 3 weeks is in itself a massive ask, and you know, to get dealt a bit of a blow like this is upsetting for all of them. But you know, they're a strong group of people, and they'll stick together, and we'll get there. But we'll look back on it one day and go, it was bad back then, but it's better now.
David, we had a bit of debate about driver of the day yesterday. I've got a dilemma again today.
Oh, I haven't. Oliver Solberg. How can you not?
Well, because I'm going again, leaning towards Sebastian Ogier, because he has been magnificent out there.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. How can you not place Solberg as your driver for the day? He lost, don't forget, with a puncture yesterday, nearly a minute and a half. He finishes today. He's not quite leading WRC2. He trails Virves by 6.5 seconds.
He's won every stage.
It's astonishing. It's an astonishing comeback.
You know, if you were Robert Virves, you would be kind of going to bed thinking,
folks, it has been a fabulous day here. We do have one more day to go. It's a decent day tomorrow.
it's a good day.
Quite a few
79, 90, 80
kilometres.
kilometres.
But here's the thing. What did you say? The clouds are building. We've had the sunset slightly kind of obscured by the clouds building out there.
But everybody said it's not coming.
But we talked to the who's the guy that was standing here with the beard that you talked to?
The director of protocol for President Peña.
The director of protocol for the president of the country says yes, it's going to rain tomorrow.
But then he looked on his phone and said, oh no, it's not.
He said it's going to rain tomorrow. And don't forget, you know, your backstage pass to that service park is very much Club DirtFish on Patreon. We'll take you behind the scenes in the service park. We'll take you to some places that perhaps in the service park you weren't aware of. We will give you interviews and stories from some of the legends of the service park. David, you did a great one today that you'll see on Club DirtFish very shortly. Where can our viewers go to find out a bit more about Club DirtFish and perhaps to sign up, David?
Go up here, up there.
You're getting used to that. You're doing that good now.
Yeah.
Give me a positive up there. Yes, very good. That's exactly where
Patreon.com, Club DirtFish. Get yourselves there, and don't forget, gold tier. Yeah. You get to debate, put the questions to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And
drive the debate.
Google it. Just Google Club DirtFish Patreon, and that will take you.
Or just follow the link on dirtfish.com.
However you want to get there, there are easy ways to find us. Absolutely easy ways to find us. Folks, it has been a great day. One more to go here in Paraguay. Paraguay has been a revelation for a lot of us. What more delights, what more joys, what more drama can it deliver tomorrow? You don't have to wait too long to find out. We'll see you all then.